Dr. Fauci says he isn't going anywhere until there's a cure for HIV. Recently, there were rumors that Dr. Anthony Fauci would be retiring soon. In a recent interview with John Casey of The Advocate, Casey asked the baseball-loving Dr. Fauci if he would leave his position for a job with the Washington Nationals. Fauci said, quote, "I got to tell you," he's such a New York way to say that, "I got to tell you, in another life, I would definitely want to be more tightly connected to sports, particularly my favorite sport, baseball. But I'm staying where I am because of the unfinished fight that we have with COVID, and also because of the unfinished fight we have with HIV and AIDS," unquote. He also discussed the benefits of injectable treatments and PrEP, and the dangers of young people ignoring the threat due to ease of access to treatment. At the end of the interview, Fauci said, quote, "We still have challenges ahead, and we have not or will not give up. And I'm going to remain 100% involved, fighting for more support for research and continuing the fight to find a cure." Anthony Fauci's been in this since the very, very beginning when it came to HIV and AIDS. And I think listening to him and some of the progress that they made with COVID is, when you read the rest of the article, they're talking about that there could be a vaccine that could come out as a result of some of the work that they've done with HIV and AIDS. I mean, with HIV and AIDS, and then obviously with COVID, that we could be close to coming up with some kind of vaccine.
You know, and I think that especially when we mention young people and how they perceive the HIV epidemic and the way that access to treatment has changed young people's perception of HIV. I find that very interesting, in particular, in the way that I personally have actually never met anyone that died, that passed away from an AIDS-related illness or an opportunistic infection, and that really informs my perspective surrounding the epidemic and a lot of young people's view.
Well, those under the age of 32, if you were to ask, probably don't know anyone who's died of HIV. Anyone over 32 more likely knows someone who's died of HIV, saw the wasting, saw the sadness, saw the death on a daily basis. And so it's hard to relay that message to youth about what this disease can do, and just taking a pill doesn't solve all your problems.
And I want to, you touched on this, the word is marketing. I mean, yes, we need to continue the work for a permanent solution. A vaccine would be optimal. But the fact is, between PrEP, the injectables, and the daily pill, the work is to market it so people know. We get I was talking with the leader of the Aqua Foundation, whose name escapes me at the moment, but she was like, yes, there's not enough marketing to women about the access that you can get out there these days, and especially in third world countries. It's about marketing to remove the stigma. So yes, Dr. Fauci, go enjoy your retirement. You've earned it, because right now you're in the home stretch. Enjoy your retirement. We're in the home stretch hopefully for the AIDS virus. Let's market it so people will take it seriously and just take it.
So, and that's my question then. I mean, kind of to all of your points is, does it matter if Fauci is the face? I mean, if he's not going to step back, if he's not going to go to the baseball team, do young people care? Is it a good marketing strategy? Does it matter if you're over 35 or under 35? Is Fauci that face that we need?
And I think that it's super important that we have that sort of outreach that is also led by youth, especially my work with Prisma, specifically a buy-and-form model. We're not only a youth-serving organization, but we're also a youth-led organization. And having that sort of outreach and having that sort of insight into what are young people going to connect with, what are young people going to understand, and what are they going to engage with, and building a strategy surrounding that. And we know that obviously PrEP is more and more used. I think it's about 30 to 40% of gay and bisexual men, I believe, are on PrEP. It's a pretty significant percentage now, in recent years especially, and only improving on those gains.
The downside is that stigma is still such a factor that if you get into the minority community and if you get into the African American community, I can't remember what the exact number was, but it's like 40% of those minorities are getting 40% of them are more likely to get infected than 12% of, say, the white male. And until you can reach into those communities and get away from the stigma of the churches, of the schools not talking about sexual education, you're not going to change that. And so if you're not educated, then you can't make smart, wise decisions, and that's where we come down to. And to your point, Ty, Fauci is a stable face, and I think he's actually gotten a reboot with COVID by becoming that face again. People who didn't know who he was, of a younger generation, are now saying, well, this guy helped with the COVID. His face in HIV is important.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBT